Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Reynolds, the Chancellor with the Archdiocese of Louisville. Welcome to our podcast series, What's New in ArchLou. This show highlights the people and ministries of the Archdiocese, the Catholic Church in Central Kentucky. Join us each month as we welcome new guests and discuss our local church and invite you to get more involved as you deepen your own engagement with your Catholic faith. This program is brought to you by the ArchLou Podcast Network. My goodness, we've made it to February already. I can't believe how fast 2026 is already moving by. Welcome all of our viewers and listeners to our podcast. Last month, if you were with us, we welcomed two consecrated women religious and got lots of great feedback as we listened to their stories and the information they shared. So this month, we're going to try to keep playing fair. We welcome two priests to discuss with us their religious orders. Not diocesan priests, so these are priests who serve in our local archdiocese, but are involved through their own religious congregations and service in this local church. We'll learn about them in a moment. The particular fun part of that work is that besides being religious men, they're also both involved in university-level campus ministry. So we're going to talk about campus ministry, talk about young adults, we're going to talk about religious orders. So hang in there, we'll have a great show together. Welcome, both of you. Glad you could be here. And now, this is interesting. This Irish guy, pronouncing words, you both come from just different traditions than me, ethnically and everywhere else. So Father John Hoang, he said to say that fast enough and no one will fight me on it. He's here for a second time. And Father John P. Everyone refers to him everywhere we go as Father John P. because his last name has so many letters in it that this Irish man can't pronounce it. But I'm going to ask you, Father John P., how do you say your last name?
Porathu Parambil.
See? That's pretty easy. All right. Anyway, all joking aside, thanks for being here. I know that people tease you about that a lot, but that's part of your tradition in the city. Everybody knows Father John P.
Yeah.
So very good. Father John Baptist is a Dominican priest in residence at St. Louis Bertrand here in Louisville. He currently serves as chaplain of campus ministry at the University of Louisville and previously served in the similar position in campus ministry at New York University. Father John Baptist is from Northern Virginia and attended the University of Virginia, where as a student, he first encountered the Dominican community through campus ministry. Father John P. is a conventual Franciscan priest in residence here at Holy Family Church. Currently, he serves Bellarmine University as director of campus ministry and teaches in the theology department. Father John P. is from Kerala, India. He earned a bachelor's degree in philosophy and theology, a master's in literature, and a doctorate in ministry. So these are well-educated, well-experienced men, and we're so glad to have you. You are both, I'll tell you right up front, you are great, great blessings in our diocese. You're two of the most recognized names, and people talk about you all the time. I'm glad we got you to be on our show. So, in addition to what I've already said, Father John Baptist, you get to go first. Tell us a little more about yourself.
Sure. I guess it'll be more about my vocation and all that later in the episode. But I guess maybe that's a very open question, maybe just a fun fact.
Sure.
I have a black belt in Taekwondo.
So, do you really?
Yeah. So
very good. I'm going to stay far away from that if I can. Wow. Do you still practice a little bit with that?
Do I practice? No. Do I have to use it? No. But thank God I don't have to use it.
Very good. So the students don't get out of line, or they'll put you on the team over there.
Exactly.
Very good. Father John P., a little bit more about yourself, something about yourself.
I'm celebrating 25 years of priesthood this year.
Happy Jubilee.
Thank you. I've been living in Louisville for past 15 years. Okay. So that means I've worked or ministered Louisville more than Indian community.
Yeah.
So that's a big celebration this year planned today.
And if I'm correct, when you were Franciscan, but you also then when you were part of the order in India, but then you joined the community here locally now too.
Yes.
That's very good. Thank you for sharing those little tidbits about yourself. I thought we'd give you a chance to talk a little bit more about what I just said there, a little about the religious orders that you are part of, because they come from two very different traditions, both serving the church and serving our Lord. So Father John, tell us about John P. Tell us about the Conventual Franciscans, because there's so many different Franciscans, and tell us how you can explain all that.
God created Franciscans on
Okay.
seventh day.
On the seventh day, while he was resting. All right, Franciscans.
So Franciscans are community-oriented. They live in a community, live a simple life. Their main goal, inspired by St. Francis of Assisi, to live the gospel. So we live the gospel in different ways. Some of us work in the campus ministry. We have Franciscan Kitchen in Louisville. We have some of us work as canon lawyers, healthcare ministers, things like that. So we serve the poor, basically, and we with the people. We are hospitality. We are very hospitable. We welcome everybody, wherever they come from, background of religion, color, gender, but we welcome them all.
That's terrific. I know that one of the charisms of the Franciscans is hospitality.
Yes.
And when you first arrived here and members of your community, you practice what I guess is more common in India and less common in the States here, is you, in your beautiful religious robes, after Sunday Mass, would walk the neighborhood. But people weren't used to seeing priests wearing religious robes walking around the neighborhood near Holy Family and so forth. But it's caused this energy, this stir. Something's going on. Who are these priests? And people started talking about you and to you and with each other. That was a real interesting growth. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Also, I remember that, like when I was invited to Louisville in 2010 to begin the ministry for young people who are lost. So the first thing that we used is hospitality.
Yeah.
I remember meeting Franciscans, and they said, use Indian hospitality to attract young people to our home. And we did that for several years until COVID. Yeah. So we opened our house, we cooked for them, we had retreats, programs for them, and we connected with 350 young people in Louisville. And still now we see some of them are in Archdiocese leadership.
Yeah,
so we are so happy. Yes, we use the hospitality. That's a gift from India, also from Franciscan life.
Yeah, it's both, and we the impact was very obvious, and you're right. There's early students or followers of your community serving all over the church, and that's a great gift.
Thank you.
Father John Baptist, how about the Dominicans? A whole different tradition. Tell us about that.
Yeah, different tradition, but founded around the same time as the Franciscans in the 13th century, so not too long after. Just a couple years really, and very very similar to at that time. Like there was just a growth of just kind of a need for like these new religious orders that were kind of also living in community, but also not just living community like the monks and just kind of being in the monastery, all day. But there was a need to go out, and so similar to the Franciscans. We share a lot of things: community life and prayer and all that, good food. But our mission is in particular for preaching, and with that preaching is really just sharing the truth and sharing Jesus to others, and so. And that takes the form of just so many different things: serving in campus ministries, being at universities, teaching, serving in parishes, being in hospitals, and also doing podcasts as well.
There you go.
So very similar, but just kind of a different path. We were founded by Saint Dominic de Guzman, and because we were founded around the same time, Dominicans and Franciscans have actually a great affection for each other. So much so that we actually celebrate each other's founders as great feast days. So we call, for us Dominicans, we call Saint Francis our Holy Father Francis, and the same vice versa, our Holy Father Dominic. So
I didn't know that. That's great to learn.
Yeah.
A little historical fact here. Francis and Dominic, they met in Rome, and they exchanged their compassion and friendship a lot. And even I know that from the history that Dominic invited Francis to join with him, but then Francis said, "No, I have my own."
Have your own, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Father John Baptist, like Father John P., you also wear a habit. So as opposed to the Franciscan brown, you're in the Dominican white. You're famous for a different kind of hospitality because they put you in the sports world.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to you about that sometimes because anyone who sees or goes to a U of L football game, Father John Baptist walks the sideline in his white habit, and people always see that. And I notice you always go to the direction the team's running towards. So you go to the end zone where you want them to go, and that's why they're winning, because they're following you.
Yeah.
They're following Jesus, I
Following
hope.
Jesus.
But they're following you. You can tell they're planned, because there goes Father. How does he know that? So there goes Father John Baptist.
Bring all the graces down to the end zone.
You got it. That's great. So thank you both for sharing a little bit about that. Let's talk about you a little bit deeper. Your vocation story. You know, every one of us has a vocation in life. You have particular calling to religious life, and have a unique story there. So since you've been sharing right now, Father John Baptist, how about your vocation story? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I would say my first encounter with the Dominican order was when I went to college. I went to school at the University of Virginia. And growing up, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and so that's the Diocese of Arlington, Virginia. It's a great, wonderful diocese, great Dawson priest. Also just grew up in a wonderful parish too, as well. But I guess at that time when I was in high school, I wasn't really thinking about a vocation. You know, as I like to say, it's like at that time in high school, I was just thinking more about girls than God. And I guess when I got to college, I just started is that age where I guess it's the first time you're away from family and you're just starting to think about your life and your faith and what is the meaning of my faith. And so all those questions kind of came when I first entered college. I started off actually studying chemical engineering, but I was still faithful to going to Sunday masses, and I was just very inspired just by the priests there at Mass. They had the Dominican friars there serving in the parish there at the university. And the first thing that drew me right away was their preaching, just their homilies. There's just something so wonderful about them. That Dominicans have a strong intellectual tradition. We study a lot of St. Thomas Aquinas and just his way of thought. And so just the way that the homilies were given, as a young man, I would spend a lot of time actually just thinking about the homilies. So much so that even during the week, I would just think about the Sunday homily, and I just could not stop thinking about the homily. And sometimes I'd be just daydreaming in class, but thinking about the homily. And so this would go on for just a while. Eventually, my second year in college was when I really kind of came back more into the faith and started just reading more about the faith, reading the catechism, going to a confession for the first time in a long time in a while, and just receiving just that wonderful mercy from the priest that heard my confession, and then just started really just really inquiring about what makes these Dominicans, and why are they so happy? Because they were very happy people I've ever encountered. And so I remember my spiritual director at the time, he gave me a book about Saint Martin de Porres, and so he was a Dominican friar from Peru. Very inspired by him and his just great love for people. And then after that, the same friar gave me a book about St. Dominic, and I was very inspired about his mission to really kind of to share the gospel throughout the whole world. And then, from there, long story short, it started visiting our seminary in Washington, D.C., our Dominican House of Studies. Very inspired by just the vibrancy and just all the young men there, just there to study and the prayer life. And eventually, my last year in college, I asked for an application, and then I entered right after college.
Very good. How long have you been ordained now?
So this May will be 10 years for me.
Very good.
Yeah.
Another good marker.
Another good marker.
Yeah, that's great. I'm always glad when I hear you say or describe the imagery of they look so happy. The Dominicans look happy. That attraction that comes from joy.
Yes.
That's terrific. That's great. Father John P., your vocation story is unique to yourself too. How about that?
Yes. I met the first Franciscan at the age of 16 when I was a 10th grader. Okay. So I'm also a Syro-Malabar community member, which is an Eastern church established by St. Thomas the Apostle in 52 AD. So we have very strict Sunday religious class. It's 2-hour class. You can miss school, but not Sunday religious class. So I was in the Sunday school, and here comes a Franciscan. He talked about what Franciscan life means. So I was like fascinated about the way he dressed and the way he spoke, even the aroma he brought to the classroom. So I just wanted to join, and I went to, they called to something like Kamansi, So I went to the Kamansi, and as I was going in a public bus, it met with an accident. So the bus hit with the truck and went right into 6 feet muddy water.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I was under the water for a few minutes, and then I thought I'm dying. Then I surrendered myself, but somebody was on my back. When that person stood, then I took my first breath. But that did not stop me exploring Franciscan life. I still, did not return my back home. I went to the Franciscan ashram, which is a house, and we stayed there for a week. And 2 days, the dirt was coming from my nose.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the hospital we are young and didn't know what to do with that. But then I fall in love with the Franciscan life, their community, their friendship, the way they prayed, the way they had dinner, the way they had games. So I found this is my niche. But when I was 16, I don't know, you all know what to do with the life, right? But when I turned 20, 21, then I knew, wow, this is a serious life. I started learning about St. Francis deeply, like the way he interacted with the poor, how he met with the Sultan to talk about the interfaith dialogue, how he treated the lepers, and how he treated the whole world, the nature. So I started falling in love with the community. Now I am so thankful that God called me to Franciscan life. And in India, we believe there will be a second or third life. So if I get a second life, I'm sure I will be a Franciscan. So I love it so much. And God brought me to the right place. That's my vocation story.
It sounds like almost a tragedy turned to a salvation right there. But it didn't distract you enough to stop you.
You know what? My religious name is John. I should have taken Moses.
Taken
from the water.
Very good. Very good. Well, gosh, start calling you Moses. That's a good idea. Both of you, thank you for sharing that. Both your communities provide a tremendous resource to our archdiocese. We're blessed to have a good number of religious orders in our diocese. Some don't have all that, but both of yours serve. You serve in campus ministry, but both your communities serve our multiple parishes in our diocese too. So men who are part of your communities serve in lots of capacities, and it's a real blessing. And both of your congregations have men full of joy. They're a lot of fun, some of the things. And I'm going to ask you later, I'll give you a trick near the end. I ask you, I know you both talk about food. You guys, you Franciscans, you cook a lot of food over there, and your partner in crime, Father George, is quite a gardener. And I know Father John Baptist, you talk about food a lot too, because every time we have a conversation, you talk about the Dominicans liking food. So I'm going to ask you at the end of the show your favorite thing to eat. Okay. So we'll come back to that. But let's get back to work here. Let's talk about College campus ministry is an important apostolate in our local church. Let's hear a little bit about what is the nature, what goes on in campus ministry in your world. Father John Baptist, tell us about U of L campus ministry.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, speaking about my vocation, just finding just the renewal of my Catholic faith in college, and then just my vocation too in college. It's been a blessing just to serve these college students where, I'm on the other side, really. And so I having that insight of just, what the young people are looking for, and just really listening to them. And I would say like the two main things that I see are one, these young people are looking for just meaning in life, especially, in a world where sometimes people can find no meaning in life, or many meanings in life, but people are just searching just for that meaning, especially just in our Catholic faith, that they're loved by a Father, by God the Father, and then two, they're looking for a community as well. They're just a lot of young people are just suffering from loneliness and isolation, even though we live in a digital age where we're so connected, and yet the human heart is just so lonely. And so, and just seeing that among the young people, and seeing in campus ministry those two things being fulfilled, providing that meaning really just through talks, through homilies, through conversations with students, and then just seeing the young people really get together, both for prayer, for mutual study, for fellowship, for just having fun. And it's a powerful witness on the campus of U of L, where it's a secular university. There are a lot of clubs, but I think what makes our campus ministry stand out is you see the love, you see the charity, you see the fellowship, really among our students. It's a beautiful witness when you just see them interact with each other, just walking around campus. No one has their headphones on, but the people are just having just conversations and just laughing and loving each other.
I know you are able to provide sacraments to the student body there, and perhaps the faculty as well. What are the other elements? What are the activities of campus ministry? If someone were just going to be a freshman next year, what are some things I can get involved in?
Sure, I've kind of have like a threefold program structure, you could say, for the campus ministry: is prayer, study, and service. And so the heart of just everything is going to be prayer. So, of course, we mentioned the sacraments, but we have adoration. One of our most popular nights is Thursday nights in the Interfaith Center, where we have adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, but the students will also play praise and worship music. So it's very just a lively, just kind of just full of just praise of the Lord there. And so prayer is just going to be at the heart of everything. Study, one, because as Dominican friars, we just have a strong emphasis on study and the intellectual life. And so we have just a good number of Bible studies. In fact, every day of the week, except for the weekends, we have a Bible study. So both for men and for women. And we also, every Wednesday night, we have an event called Why Catholic, which is just kind of an apologetics explanation of just like various topics on the faith. Like last week, we just had one on why do Catholics have priests. This week, we're going to have a conversation on why do Catholics have the sacrament of confession. So very simple entry level there for people to learn about the faith, and then service, because we have to kind of go out to serve the people, really to love one another as Christ commanded. And so just a number of different just service activities where students can get involved and help the needy.
Great. A lot of opportunities for young people. Father John P., how about Bellarmine's campus ministry? What does that look like these days?
Campus ministry, we are like, campus ministry says many faith, one ministry.
Okay.
So as a campus minister, I'm a little bit different from Father John Baptist. I am serving both Catholics and other religious.
Okay.
So I always imagine if I'm a bird, I fly with two wings, or campus ministry is a bird, we fly with the two wings. One is interfaith, the other one is Christian or Catholic. So we try to, our campus ministry has to serve a lot of people from other denominations or other religions. So we try to program for both. We have for the Catholics, we have masses, we have retreats. We send them for a Sikh retreat. We had 18 students went for the Sikh. We have after Mass, Sunday Mass. After Sunday Mass, we once in a month we invite priests from Archdiocese so that our students can meet the religious or the Archdiocesan priests. We have pizza gathering, so we try to build a community. We have other retreats. We celebrate the whole week of St. Francis, with environmental justice and other things. So we do a lot of program for Catholics. Then other programs like Satsang, which is an interfaith dialogue. We have True Self Retreat, which is open for everybody. So we do a lot of programs for our students. Yes.
Yeah. So that's a unique role to serve both the Catholic community and then the broader community of Bellarmine.
Yes.
Father John, you Baptist, you focus on particularly the Catholic community because there's other campus ministers at U of L serving other denominations. A little bit different, but still about having young people have an encounter with the Lord, and I'm grateful for that. Tell us about two little things. Father John Baptist, Father John P mentioned it there. A lot of students and others from campus ministry from both your schools attended what's called the Seek, S-E-E-K conference. What is the Seek conference, and why do you go there?
Sure. I mean, Seek is just part of just the Gospel of Seek and you will find. And it's run by the Fellowship of Catholic University Students, so Focus. And it's a big conference that's been going on for a while, at least a decade, where thousands of college students from around the country will gather. Usually it starts on New Year's Day. So just to kind of begin really the new year, really with grace. And it's a conference. It's an experience where you'll have talks like keynote speakers, just major Catholic speakers that are popular. Like a lot of students love Father Mike Schmitz. It's a very popular one, so he's normally like a keynote speaker. And then during the day, they have like breakout sessions, different kind of talks that students can choose. Of course, daily masses where you'll have hundreds of priests come and some dozens of bishops will be there. So it's very moving when the priest will just process during Mass, and it'll take like a good 10-15 minutes just for the procession because it's just so many priests and bishops there. And so it's very, very moving, especially for like a young person who's never encountered the larger church that way.
Yeah. Very good.
And in addition to that, there's just opportunities for confessions, and kind of the main night is the third night of the conference, of the 5-day conference, and there's a kind of a big everyone gathers for adoration for like 2 hours and some praise and worship, and then there'll be just a long lines for confessions because all those priests will be hearing confessions, and it's just a beautiful just evening. I've seen just many students. Both students who are maybe not Catholic and they'll inquire about the Catholic faith, or students who are already Catholic and they'll just be on fire with the faith after really that adoration night. So.
That's great, and I know that thousands of young adults are now attending Seek. That's great to hear.
Yes.
Father John, while Father John Baptist is doing Seek, you're off. We're India. I think you had a couple of trips to India recently. Tell us about why you connect people back to India. Besides, obviously, you get to go home.
Yes,
but why?
Yeah, that's main reason. So India can offer a lot. Especially India has that Indian spirituality, Indian hospitality, and also the oldest church in the world. I mean, the Syro-Malabar Church. So it's a 10 days program in India. Prior to that, I teach the course as theology, or cross-listed as a night, which is a community engagement course. So I teach course for a semester, then we go 10 days to India. So each day students have a subject to learn. It can be healthcare, education, sightseeing, history, food, of course, shopping. So they return back with a transformation experience, especially knowing the friars, their ministry, their hospitality, and Indian people's hospitality. They really return with a great transformation. And we have taken around 300 above students now, our staff and faculty, and we have a big community. And every year after coming, we are celebrating India Day, which is a time to come together and celebrate dance, music, and food. And that's on February 15th.
Very good. You know, we could talk about so much just on those two events. What Seek is a huge impact nationally, and these India trips for your Bellarmine community and the broader church. So, but we only have a couple more minutes left. I want to ask two last questions. One is, all of this campus ministry, all of the work you do, I'm going to ask you to talk about hope, because I keep hearing voices of hope with young adults, with the church, with things. So how does hope shape your work? And we're going to end it with that, with one more food question after that. So how about hope first?
I can talk. My hope is bring back the young people to the church. We all know that they are struggling with faith. Many of them are struggling with faith. They call themselves, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. So there is a struggle going on. So I come from a fishing village. Like, there were many people who are fishing. So they go for fishing, and one day they may get no fish. Sometimes they get fish. It's like Jesus taught us to be fishermen. Yeah. So it's like that. You be there, out there, like watching for those young people who are struggling with faith. And you show them you're a real person, you love Jesus, you love God, and you be a person out there. Just be a real presence out there. And your sincerity, the way you are in the world, will attract them, I'm sure. And I have seen that many times. Now we started OCA program very recently. And I never thought, this is started this year, and I never thought that 4 or 5 people will be interested to join the Catholic faith. And one of the story of the student is, like, he and his parents went to Rome, and seeing the Rome connection with the whole church, and they said, if church is built on Saint Peter, then we need to be Catholic. So they are joining Catholic. His parents are joining in his own parish, and he's joining with Bellarmine. So that's my hope. Like, be out there with your sincerity. That's what they are looking for. They are also looking for a space. Sure. They can call sacred. They can call belonging. So you just out there with your life, and that's my hope. We can show them the light.
Good. Father John Baptist, hope.
Yeah, I think the part of campus ministry that gives me the most hope is every year at graduation. I think it's that time where you're really sending a student off, when you know the stories of students when they've kind of been involved in campus ministry, and you've just seen their growth. You receive them at first, and you've just seen just their transformation in faith, and then you send them off, and you know that the church is going to be strengthened really through this one person that you send off, and just to see like the future of just this archdiocese and the hope that's there, that they'll be kind of sent to like their parish, their diocese, really to really just bring others to the faith, and I think just seeing that growth there. I see campus ministry as really a place really just to just to help these young people, really just to kind of send them off to the world, and so that they can witness to the faith.
Well, both of you and both of your ministries are signs of hope, and I'm really grateful. You get the last word. I said we're going to talk about food at the very end. What's your favorite food, Father? What do you like to cook, or what do you like to eat?
Oh, I don't cook.
Okay,
yeah, but I do like to eat.
Okay.
And I would say my favorite is Vietnamese food. That's my
heritage.
And I say my favorite place in Louisville is Vietnam Kitchen.
Okay.
And so it's a good classic pho, especially when it's cold.
Okay, Father John.
I like chicken curry.
Chicken curry.
So I cook.
Yeah.
I started cooking during COVID time. Father George Munyanade is the best Indian chef in town, I would say. But then I cook chicken curry. So after COVID time, I learned from YouTube about cooking. Now I cook and I host the students, small numbers. So that's what yesterday I had a group of students at home and I cooked chicken curry and
making me hungry. All right. That's good. Thank you both again for what you do every day, for your work in this diocese, for your own ministry, for vocations. Happy Jubilee years, 10 and 25. It's great to see the church growing, and I'm grateful. And thank you, our listeners and viewers, for joining us with What's New in ArchLou for February 2026. We'll see you again next month. Please join us.